My favorite tune. Very snappy. All right. Welcome once again to Good Health by Claudia, a podcast with me, Denny Schaffer, a production of Denny Radio. We are on episode number 74. 74.
Yay.
Clicking them off, helping people, maybe even saving lives. Anyway, we know it's a lot of fun and it's very informative. And I just so look forward to our time together, Claudia. So thank you.
Me too.
I learned so much. Today, we are going to be talking about seed oils, which to use, which not to use. And we decided we're going to start with the history. So tell me about the history of these oils.
So the reason that I thought it would be important to talk about this subject, and actually we're going to do one episode, but we could do many episodes on this subject matter because it's a big and it's an important subject matter. So oils and fats are very, very important for human health. But where we're at now, we have so many people coming in, they're confused as to what fat, what oils they should be ingesting. Because, one group of experts will say the seed oils are wonderful for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other group of experts say, no, the seed oils are bad for you. So we have people coming in and saying, we don't know who to believe. So
believe Claudia.
I listen, I don't ever claim to have all the answers, and I'm a student every day, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm proud of that. But I do know what I've learned over the years. And one of the things my mother taught my brothers and I is to always stick to the food that God put here. And that meant food before factories. She kept it that simple. She didn't come up with all this big stuff in these words. She just said, eat food before factories showed up. Okay. It made sense. And I've passed that on to a lot of people over the years, and they're grateful that I did because it helps them decide what food is real and what food is not. So I will always, I'm 67 now. I have a brother that's 70. I have another older brother that will be 73. None of us are on meds. None of us have ever junked out.
Wow.
None of us have ever done pop. I mean, we just, but because of my mother's influence, she taught us, eat real food. And what that means is what was here long before industry showed up.
Right.
So the reason I thought it was interesting to look at all the oils, I laid out almond oil, avocado, canola, the big seed oils that everybody hears about, canola, corn oil, cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, peanut oil. Well, peanut actually is a seed oil, but safflower and sunflower. And you see information. Some say, yes, these are good oils, and some say, no, they're not. So for me, I always look. Now, I want to say, I was raised on olive oil.
Okay.
That's all we ate. To this day, that's all I eat. We were raised because my family is from part Lebanese, part Syrian. So I was raised on the Mediterranean diet. So I was raised on olive oil, butter, ghee. That's all we ate. And to this day, that's what I eat. But when I look at a lot of these oils that have come in since industry, I don't want to eat them. I figure if they weren't around for thousands of years, I'm certainly not going to ingest them.
Mm-hmm.
And so the seed oils, some of them, when you look at corn oil has been around for thousands of years. But the corn oil we have now is a very different product from what the original cultures were eating of that corn. A lot of companies are using solvents and hexane and to strip these oils, and they're very toxic. That's not what you want. So, but I like to keep it simple. Cottonseed oil came in the 1800s. You have peanut oil. It started in 1900 as diesel fuel, and then it became part of the food oil in 1912. I don't want to eat peanut oil. No. However, cultures have used it, but it wasn't used as a food oil. So it just is a simple, safflower, sunflower. The issue with a lot of these oils, they break down easily. They break down in heat, light, oxygen. They go rancid very, very quickly. So the question is, it always goes back to the cardiovascular issue. Of all my learning and all my reading, it always goes back to people that are saying, in order to have a healthy heart, you have to get rid of cholesterol. And in order to get rid of cholesterol, you need to eat monounsaturated and polyunsaturated oils. Well, not everybody agrees that those are safe oils, because when we have, there's and this is a nice conversation to have someone that does research on this so that we can really have a full conversation. But when you're looking at something like olive oil,
which I love, which is what I use most of the
and
time.
it's a good balance, it's very stable. It's not great to cook with. None of these oils are great to cook with, really, because
I use it in my stir fry and I have no problem.
because when you look at, I should have put the smoke points on here.
Yeah.
Almond has one of the highest smoke points. So if you're going to fry in something, almond oil, I've talked to several researchers over the years. They've all said almond oil is probably one of the safest because it has a high heat or a smoke point, high smoke point.
Right.
So once in a great while, I might make pan fried perch, or
Ooh.
I'll do chicken
Ooh.
strips from our Bell and Evans chicken, which is a great company. If you're looking for a clean company for chicken, look for Bell and Evans. We've sold it for years. We have people that won't eat any other chicken, but nonetheless, sometimes I take the chicken breast and I cut it and I put it in Bob's Red Mill gluten-free flour, and I'll pan fry it. I use avocado oil. What'd I say? Avocado. I use avocado oil. So avocado oil has a high heat point.
So you can really heat it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I know olive oil doesn't. It's more of a slower.
Right. So
I have an idea for a podcast.
Yep.
Because I know you're an amazing cook, because you've made dinner before.
You. My mother was an amazing cook.
Well,
she
that's
taught
where you
me,
learned it.
so I'm
so
grateful.
what we ought to do is you bake up like a really nice Mediterranean meal, and then I just eat it.
And then you eat it while
and you tell everybody about it, what I'm eating, and it seems like a win-win to me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to the oils.
And it's a shame, because a lot of these traditional oils, the traditional oil in Mediterranean food is olive oil.
Right.
But now you see products on the market where they've switched out the olive oil for whatever, canola or soy or these junk oils. That's not my thing. I will always want to know, if I'm going to eat something that I didn't make, I want to know what it's made with.
Right.
And this is, a lot of people aren't finding out when they go to a restaurant or wherever it may be. They're not asking, what are you using? What oils are you using? Do you use butter? Do you use, these are important questions personally that I think they're very important for people to ask. But the seed oils, safflower, sunflower, corn oil, all of these, they're known to, they don't have a good ratio of omega-3s, which we've talked about, omega-3s for brain and heart health. They don't have a good ratio between the omega-3s and the omega-6s. Many of them have too many omega-6s, which some people claim can be wonderful for vascular health. There's a lot of research showing they're very inflammatory. They're very, very inflammatory. So, that's not, I stick to olive oil. Now, when you're using, we're talking about the vegetable plant seed oils, but a lot of people use tallow. Tallow's making a comeback. Tallow is the fat of beef.
Oh, wow. That's interesting, because we were talking about that. No lie. I was on vacation recently, and one of the gentlemen that I actually met said that's all he cooks.
Yes.
And I think he said his, the bacon that he cooks up, he cooks it in that. And it's just, now I guess you wouldn't need oil for bacon, would you?
No, but
I don't know what it was, but he was just raving about tallow. I'd never heard of it until now, and then you bring it up.
Well, you have tallow, which is mainly from beef.
Right.
You have lard, which is from pork. That's
Right.
what many cultures use, because that's what they had.
Do you sell that at the store?
We do. We
Oh,
do.
well,
We have
next time
tallow,
I'm
and
in.
of course, the tallow we bring in is from grass-fed cows.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to bring in something that's from a mega farm cow that's
I know what it
being
was.
harmed and
It
poisoned.
It was eggs. He said you cook your eggs in tallow.
Yeah,
He said it's unbelievable how much fluffier and better tasting they are.
Now, a lot of people also do coconut oil. And remember, tallow, lard, coconut oil, these are all saturated fats. And that comes down to the conflict of the conversation. there's the whole, I brought some books. I just want to show you. This was written in 2002. This is 21 Days to a Healthy Heart. They're talking about the cholesterol controversy, the cholesterol, well, some of the books call it the cholesterol lie. We've got Reverse Heart Disease Now. This is actually in part co-authored by a cardio doctor here in our community, Dr. James Roberts. They're talking about all the different things that are actually leading to vascular disease, but you've got camps of people that only want to look at saturated fats and say they're dangerous. Well, there's so much research and so much information saying, no, they're not. But this is Cholesterol Myth. That came out in what, 2000? And then you've got, I was looking for Mary Innick. She's known as, she wrote a wonderful book, I believe back in the 60s. Don't quote me on the year. I couldn't find my copy. I have books everywhere. I have hundreds of books, and I could not find that copy of my book, but it's called Know Your Fats and Oils. Great book. And a lot of these people, here's another one, Eat Fat, Lose Weight. This came out in 1999. So this issue of fat is dangerous. I don't believe that. I believe it's what kind of fat or oil are you eating? And now for me, it goes back to the blood typing.
Yep, there it is.
Right? And what's very interesting is that when you look at the blood typing book, olive oil is the only oil that's beneficial for all 4 blood types.
Boom.
I find that amazing. And for any of you that have the book and are following the protocol, which more and more people are, I'm very happy to hear that. In the book, if there's an arrow up next to a food, it's helping the microbiome. And olive oil is an arrow up, beneficial for every 4 blood type.
Highly beneficial.
Highly
is
beneficial.
The arrow up.
So the point is, just because, remember, it's a sad thing. It's a sad fact. But in the United States, with industrialized food, most of what people have been taught is not based on truth, but it's based on economics.
Yeah.
Right? All we have to do is look at margarine. Okay, everybody said years ago, margarine's safe, butter's dangerous. They caused a lot of people problems with their health. All these different things. So always stick to what's real. Stick to the oils. And again, I'm a fan of olive oil, but for people that want to use coconut you can cook in because it's saturated, and it has a high smoke point. So, but the more that you can not heat oils is what you want to do.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You want to use them over your salad or whatever. We have a lot of people now taking a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil every night before they go to bed. They heard it somewhere on the internet.
TikTok.
And that's what they're doing. So, the oils are very important. The cholesterol that's a whole nother conversation that we're going to have. And as I said, we'll have somebody in to join us with that conversation. Because when you really get into cholesterol is so important. And why Western medicine keeps saying cholesterol is dangerous. If you go back to anyone that studied pre-med or biology or anything to do with human health, you learn about how important cholesterol is. Right? You need cholesterol to make the hormones. You need cholesterol to help the brain. All these things. It's very important in the human body.
Right.
And they're driving it lower and lower and lower, and they're causing problems in people. So remember, fats and oils are wonderful. You just have to find the right one for yourself. For me, I stay away from canola, corn oil, cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil. I stay away from all that, peanut oil. Because they go rancid very quickly, and rancidity is a problem.
So you said you made some perch the other night. What oil did you put in there?
That's the only time I use avocado to heat.
Avocado. So avocado is what you use.
Yeah. And
does it change the taste of the fish?
No, and that's what I was going to say. A lot of people, we have customers that use coconut oil, but if you don't like the taste of coconut,
well, yeah.
For people that love the taste of coconut, the food is going to take on that faint taste, which is fine. But if you don't like it, you're not going to want to cook in coconut oil. So I stick to, as I said, avocado oil. And remember, some of these oils, they go back thousands of years, 3,000 years, 5,000 years, 8,000 years, but not all of them were used as food. sources. Some of them were used in as fuel in industry and textiles and
Oh,
paints.
yeah.
So that's why it's important to know the foods that are true to be consumed by, that we're meant to consume. So anyway, that was a little start on that whole conversation.
Okay. That's good
Did it
stuff.
make sense?
No, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm also a big fan of butter, even though we're talking about oils today. I'm a big fan of butter. Butter is a very important food. Oh, that's what I wanted to read before I just wanted to read something that I found because it's amazing. This was an article this was an NIH article. It was written in 2013. It's called The Decline and Rise of Cardiovascular Heart Disease. And it was written by David Jones and Jeremy Green. And there's a quote from that article, and it says, coronary heart disease rose from relative obscurity in the late 19th century to take a devastating toll in the 20th century. So a lot of these oils that are being promoted on commercials and by docs and by all these groups and organizations to do the seed oils, well, that's when they came in, right? In the 1900s, that's why cardiovascular disease was obscure. But as they came into the 1900s, cardiovascular disease rose. So, there's so much misinformation and conflicting information. I really encourage everybody, just when you read this stuff, just take a breath, take a minute, step back and ask yourself, did people eat this before, before industry started?
Yeah.
And I think that will help be a guiding line for people. But anyway, so that's what I'm a fan of.
Good.
Olive oil, butter, tallow, coconut oil.
I'm coming in and getting some tallow, unless you brought some.
No, I didn't. And remember, if you do tallow, make sure it's from a clean source. We only bring in clean sources.
Well, I'm going to get it from you.
So
It'll be clean.
So that's the first step in talking about fats and oils. We'll continue this.
Okay.
Because there's
is
so
that a
much more.
product we were going to talk about?
So yes. So you've heard me talk about lecithin in many podcasts. I'm a fan. So no matter what oils or fats you eat, I think everyone should consider getting to know lecithin, get it in your life, get it into your diet. It's very important. Lecithin is naturally occurring in the human body. It's rich in phosphatidylcholine, so it's very important for the liver, the brain, the nervous system. But one of the beautiful things lecithin does is it breaks up stagnant lipids in the liver. It helps the liver handle lipids more efficiently. And remember, when all the years people were eating hydrogenated fats, we weren't designed to eat hydrogenated fats. We weren't designed to break them down. So lecithin is very important for everyone. No contraindication with we've never seen, because it's naturally occurring in the human body. It's a great product. Get it in every day. Eat clean fats and oils. Stay away from the ones that are, the ones you're seeing advertised on the commercials. Those are the ones you want to stay away from, you know, because it's economics. I mean,
it is.
And when, in fact, we never had canola oil in our industry ever. And once we passed DSHEA, which we've talked about, the federal, so once we passed DSHEA, and it opened the floodgates to all this big business wanting to get in our industry. And as we saw some of these food companies get purchased by whatever, General Mills and Nestle's and I don't know, whoever else
all the big
Procter and
companies.
Gamble, that's when we started getting canola oil in. So last year, I decided we had about 24 feet of munchies. It's a lot of munchies. And I told the team years ago, if it's a new product coming in with canola, do not put it on the shelf. If it's a product that we've sold for years and it now has canola, we need to educate the public why we don't want that. And so what I did last year, I got rid of all the munchies with canola, and I was very happy about it. And we're down to 8 feet.
Wow.
8 feet of munchies with no canola. So I'm not a fan of it. Remember, canola came from rapeseed, which has been documented thousands of years back. There's some controversy. I learned years ago that cultures before us didn't consume rapeseed because there's an activity in it,
Right.
erucic acid, which is very toxic for humans. And back in the 40s, late 40s, early 50s, Canada hybridized it, and that's what became canola.
Oh, wow.
So I don't need to eat an oil that had toxins in it and they stripped it out so they could sell it and make it a cheap oil. That's not my thing. So anyway, that's what I thought we'd go over.
I like it. All right.
Good.
Anything else?
No. Just
All right.
care about what you eat. Be mindful where it's being grown, how it's being grown. I would love to see food gardens, community gardens all over the United States. You know, it's sad to me that so many people are going to bed hungry, especially children.
Yeah.
There's no reason children should be going to bed hungry.
Yeah.
There should be community gardens all over the United States. I think the more that we teach people how food grows, it teaches them to appreciate it, to respect it, and to understand why it's important in the body. So I'm a fan of community gardens, and also support your local farmers that are raising food properly. They're everywhere. Find them, support them, whether they're growing produce, whether they're raising animals and doing it properly, grass-fed and all these things. Excuse me, support those farms. They need our help because the big agri companies, they're buying up all the land and it's all toxic.
Yep.
What they're doing, you know, all we have to do is, you know, we've talked about the mega farms before.
Oh, yeah.
That's one example of, you don't want corporate America in your food supply because they don't care about you, me, you, our families. They don't care. It's about the money. So do yourself a favor.
Scratch.
Become mindful about what you're eating, how it's being produced, and where you're getting it from.
So it is corn season. Do you have corn at the store right now?
Well, we will. We will be getting it in. But
let me know.
During the spring, we sell you know, certified organic seeds, you know, heritage heirloom seeds. We sell a lot of corn seeds. So we have a lot of people planting their own corn these days.
Okay. Well, I'm just counting on you getting some into the store, and then I was going to go in and buy
hopefully we're going to be able to get some. Some years we haven't had a lot to bring in. So we need more farmers. If they're going to grow corn, raise it organically.
Oh, yeah.
Raise it organically. But in the meantime, I'm not a fan of corn personally, but anyway,
I love corn on the cob.
Everybody does. I seem to be the only one.
With butter, and you like butter.
I love butter.
Butter, a little salt.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
So that was it.
What number did I say this was? Episode 74. 74. All right. Please share the podcast. It really helps us out. The numbers are great. You guys are doing a great job. Always been doing it already. Comments in the comment section. And there you go.
And there you go. So I already said my piece about being mindful about food. And as always, Denny and I very much appreciate each and every one of you reaching out to us, watching, sharing. It's very cool. And you know, we're all learning together. I always tell people there's no experts here. We're all learning together. I like being a student every day. I've been one for 51 years in this industry. So anyway, many blessings to everyone. Keep the faith. Peace.